Do not look for the stars. They have been dead for 1 trillion years. The canvas is absolute black, a darkness so heavy. It feels like physical weight on your chest. Do not look for the galaxies. Gravity finally lost the war against expansion. The island universes have unraveled, drifting apart into the cold dark. There is no up, there is no down. There is only a way. Focus your eyes on the center of the void. A faint ghost-like ring of distorted light, a pale halo trembling against the nothingness. That is the last lantern in the cathedral of the cosmos. A supermassive black hole, the corpse of 1 billion suns starving in the wilderness. It is not eating, it is evaporating. Listen to the hum, it is getting quieter. When that light flickers out, time itself will cease to have meaning. Welcome to the end of the story. To understand the darkness, we must remember the light. Rewind the clock. Rewind it past the dark era, past the degenerate era, back to the Stelliferous Era. The era of stars, your era. Galaxies spinning like pinwheels of diamond dust, nebulas birthing blue giants in clouds of violet gas. It was a time of violent, beautiful waste. The universe was young and it burned its fuel with the reckless abandon of a child. Every star you ever saw was a machine converting matter into energy, fighting back the dark. Heat like chemistry, life a brief, blinding flash in the history of existence. But machines break down. Fuel tanks run dry. We move forward 100 trillion years. The sky changes, the bright blue and yellow stars are the first to die, exploding or collapsing. Only the red dwarfs remain small, miserly stars that hoard their hydrogen. But even they cannot cheat the laws of thermodynamics. One by one, the lights go out in the cosmic city. The universe turns into a graveyard of white dwarfs, neutron stars, and black holes. This is the degenerate era. The corpses of stars drift through the void, cold, dense balls of iron and carbon. They do not shine. They simply sit there, slowly cooling towards absolute zero. Occasionally, two will collide. A brief spark in the dark, a moment of heat, and then silence returns. Entropy is the patient butcher, it waits. Protons themselves begin to decay, matter dissolves into subatomic radiation. The solid rocks, the dead planets, the iron stars, they all evaporate into a mist of particles. There is nothing solid left, except for the monsters, the black holes, the last fortresses of gravity. We arrive at the end. 10 to the power of 100 years. Our witness is the last sentinel, a sphere of pure blackness, billions of miles wide, floating in a sea of nothing.
For eons, it was the predator. It swallowed galaxies whole. But now, there is nothing left to eat. The table is bare. And so, the predator begins to consume itself. We call this Hawking radiation. Zoom into the event horizon, the edge of the abyss, the point of no return. Here, quantum mechanics plays a dangerous game. Empty space is not empty. It is boiling with virtual particles, pairs of particles, matter and antimatter, popping into existence and destroying each other instantly. Pop, flash, gone, a quantum foam. But at the edge of the black hole, the game is rigged. One particle falls and the other escapes. The escaping particle becomes a thief. It steals a tiny fraction of the black hole's mass to exist. The black hole pays the debt, it loses energy, it shrinks, it is a leak in the tire of reality. A slow, agonizing bleed that lasts for eons longer than the life of the universe up to this point. As the black hole shrinks, it gets hotter. For googles of years, it was cold, colder than the space around it. But now, as it reaches the size of a single asteroid, it begins to glow. It sheds its cloak of darkness. First, a dull red ember. Then, a blinding white point of light. The ghost has become a star one last time. It is screaming its mass away into the void. Gamma rays pour out of it. The vacuum around it boils with escaping energy. Space and time begin to warp around the dying king. Without mass to anchor it, the definition of here and now begins to dissolve. The hum rises to a shriek, the light shifts from white to ultraviolet.
The end does not come with a whimper. The last few seconds of a black hole's life are violent beyond comprehension. A flash of hard radiation, a final defiant burst of energy released into the cold. It detonates with the force of 1 trillion nuclear bombs. But there is nothing around to burn. There is nothing to destroy. The explosion expands into the dark, illuminating nothing but the emptiness. And then, it is gone. The Sentinel is dead. The last structure in the universe has evaporated. The temperature drops, it hits 10 to the power of minus 30 Kelvin. This is not just cold. This is the absence of heat. This is the heat death. The universe is now a sea of photons stretched out by expansion until they have no energy left to give. Space is flat, smooth, featureless. A perfect infinite coffin. Entropy is won. There are no gradients, no flows of energy, no potential for change. If a clock ticked in this void, it would not matter. The next second is identical to the last. Time has not stopped, but it has lost its arrow. Without change, time is just a dimension without a direction. It is terrifying to look at the dark and realize that this is the final state of all things. But do not despair, because you are not there yet. Look at your hand. Look at the light in this room. You live in the Stelliferous Era, the Golden Age. You are a creature of heat and complexity. You are a momentary ripple of order in an ocean of chaos. The heat death is inevitable, but it is that very inevitability that gives your life meaning. If the stars burned forever, your existence would be a rounding error. But because they die, Your time is scarce, and because it is scarce, it is precious. You are the universe experiencing itself before it goes to sleep. The darkness is waiting. It has all the time in the world. So while the lantern still burns, read the book, love the light, make some noise.